Hey, shalom, shalom. This is Moth Banyasha Allah Barnaparium. This is Moth and the Israel and the Ephraim. Before we get started, I have to give all praises and honors to my power Yahweh. By Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakadash. Shalom to the Akimagwaf and Bond that's tuning this video. That's a peace to the brothers, sisters, and children that's tuning this video. Man, oh man, I'm excited to be back home and get this lesson going on. And while I was going, doing work, I was able to see this keep updated what's going on, like the world relations and all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on between possibility of Babylon going to war over Greenland. You got people in Minnesota essentially having a revolt against the government. You got, but there's a lot. There's a lot. You got the dollar crashing, which is all prophecy and everything that the Lord said that has to happen before we get to go home. It's kind of stuff we're going to touch on, but it's like we're right there. We are right there, right? A lot of these things and all these things are prophecy. These are things that have to happen first, right? So we're just gonna hop right into it. Let's hop right into it. And it reads the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 8: a time to love, a time to hate, a time to war, a time to peace, a time of peace. Now, if you read this whole chapter, you see it just goes on essentially about a time, right? There's a time for everything. Like when it says, the one precept basically going in is like, there's a certain times for certain prophecies, right? There's certain times for this, certain time for this. We are in a time of hate and war. You see what's going on. You see what's going on. You can't, and if people say that's not what's going on, that they're in denial or they're delusional. It's a lot. There's a lot going on right now. It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15. We're just gonna hop to 8. We're gonna start at 8, and it reads: I would hold my tongue no more as touching the wickedness. This is the Lord speaking. He's not holding his tongue no more concerning the wickedness of the heathen, the wickedness of a 2/3. The Lord's gonna come down, and what me and my friends used to joke when we was watching boxing. Like, yeah, do you think it's sweet? So he touch your your chin. You touch that chin, you go night night. The Lord about to come down. He about to put wrath on these people and put these people to sleep. That's just what's happening. The Lord about to come down and really put wrath on these people, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me. That innocent and that righteous blood that goes into the elect. Adarantazah, I'm part of the elect. Adarantazah, you listen to this part of the elect, right? You try to be better, offend less. But the Lord is not going to forget his saints. He will not forget his sheep, right? And the souls that just complain continually, because that's what we're doing. People that are here following the commandments, or trying to follow the commandments to best their ability, and trying to live righteously. They see a lot of this world as wicked. Everything has no order. Everything's flipped upside down. What is called right is called wrong here. What is called wrong is called right here. Is this bitter or sweet? So these people continually complain because it vexes your spirit, right? We're going on, carrying on. And therefore, say Ha-1, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So this is going to the fact that Ha-1, Yahweh is finna send Yahweh Shah back down here to avenge his elect. All that righteous blood that's been spilled from transatlantic slave trade, and even after, or what they've done to the northern kingdom, between Issachar, Ephraimites. This is what they've done to his people as a whole. The Lord's going to come back and avenge that. Behold, my people is led as a flock to slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So now, when it says led into a flock to slaughter, a lot of these people are follow uh, uh, the Catholic, or they're Muslim, or they believe in Christianity, and they're led to the flock of slaughter. They're led to do wrong, and that's just going to lead them to the death. Now, a big part of this right here is that we're not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt. Most people are like, well, we're not in Egypt. Now, through the precepts, I'm not really going to go off that because I'm going to deviate, but it goes into, first it says, I might just pull the precept out, pull the precept out to make it make sense for you. Yeah, let's do it. Uh, we're just gonna pull it out to make it make sense for y'all. So everything makes sense. So it's like Revelation 11 and 18, where their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, where also Adonai was crucified. Right. First of all, when it says crucified, he wasn't crucified here in Babylon. His image, uh, his the order, the rightful things that he told us to do was crucified here. They said they don't have to do that. They said these white guy with blue eyes and stringy hair, which is not the case, right? Now spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. Spiritually called Sodom because y'all know everywhere you look is you got the alphabet people everywhere, right? It's pushed heavily. They're revered over here, right? They took what was really a righteous thing, the rainbow, because it's talking about the Lord has made the covenant to never flood the earth again, has turned into something wicked. Now Egypt, because that's why we're here, touch with Egypt. This is what Egypt stands for. The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am Ha Adonai Yahweh, thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So when it goes to spiritually Egypt, it's because these people, we are here and we're in captivity, right? We're still in captivity. Now, most people are like, we're not in captivity. We're not getting whipped. Yeah, we're not physically in captivity, but we're in debt slaves now. Through money and all this other stuff, the taxes and like the precept says you work and you put money in bags with holes in it. That's still being in captivity because it says we're subject to payment. Uh, Now that we touched out, let's get back to it. Let's not get off the rails too far. Just continue to go into what we're going on to. But on Artazah, you understood why it says the land of Egypt, right? The book, Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 11, and it reads, "And I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before." Now, again, first off, even this, as before, will prove the point what we just said. With those two precepts we read, this line right here should prove that. But also, what that means is the Lord is about to start putting plagues on Babylon the Great, aka America. But you see what's going on is those plagues are happening between, again, dollar crashing, people, civil unrest. You see farmers. Farmers aren't really being able to farm no more, so the money, not the money, the food stuff is starting to go down because they're not being able to farm. There's a lot of different things going on. But they try to go to war, right? Uh, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, but those are the plagues that the Lord was referring to, and it's only going to get worse. And will destroy at all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn; the foundation of it shall be smitten with plagues and punishment that the power shall bring upon it. Right now, Babylon is mourning. These people are mourning. You see, these people are in a gross state. They talk about what's going on, about how the president is a 37, I think 37 timed felon. He's pushing, uh, you know, but it's a spirit, but pushing hate against, Ishkarites and Judites and it's 12 tribes, 12 tribes. But obviously that's a spirit because he's an Edomite, and that's where they're full of hate, right? And also is what the Lord wants to happen. But that Babylon is mourning. They're in a bad way right now, right? Now the foundation is getting plagued like a motherfucker. The dollar is crashing. The infrastructure is crashing. The farmers are not being able to farm. That's the foundation of this country. So without all this stuff, it's going to fall. And what if the foundation is weak? It's not going to stand. You can't stand. That's how you get the big potholes, the big sinkholes, because the foundation has shifted from under it. So it's only a matter of time before it just crumbles, that the power shall bring upon it. Right? They that till the ground shall mourn. What we was talking about, the farmers, for their seeds shall fail through the blessing and hail of the fearful consolation. The book of Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world! Woe goes in destruction, so destruction to the world, to them that dwell in. For the sword and the destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in hands. Going into civil unrest and civil war, destruction is very close. Also, in case you see what's going on, for there shall be sedition among men, and Slakia. What's my? Hold on, I'm gonna get my pop pop her out so I can actually read it clear. So I can bear with me. We at Slocky. We at 16. Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They should not regard the kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall decide to go in the city, not being able to. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, the men shall be afraid. So, right here, it's going to civil rest. It goes in these people will have no regard for the government, which you see right now in Minnesota was very small, a very minuscule portion of it. But it's only going to grow on a larger scale as it continue to go around the different cities. They want to go to Philly next. I don't know what they thinking. they having trouble in Minnesota. I don't know what they thinking if they can go to Philly. Minnesota don't got no YNs with switches. Philly, that's like it's them boys different over there. I'm from Philly and I'll be scared to walk around the city of Philly. Man, y'all, man. But you know what's the Lord want to happen? It's going to set the other stage up, right? So now we just got that down. Let's look at this. Bloomberg, right? Trump embraced a weaker dollar fuse, bets on new downtrend. You see this right here? That's perfect time to open up this right here. You see this? The dollar is crashing. President Trump relaxed tone about the dollar sell-off is fueling speculation the U.S. currency is at the start of a longer-term decline. The dollar suffered its deepest one-day drop since last year's tariff rollout after Trump said on Tuesday he didn't think the currency had weakened excessively. Bloomberg dollar gauge slid as much as 1.2% as the comment sapped at the pair of greenback the U.S. Treasuries, boosting what has become known as a debasement trade. So going to the fact that this dollar's crashing. This dollar is crashing. This is from 2 days ago. Updated a day ago. The dollar's crashing. And they said it's gonna be a long term thing. If your dollar crashes after a long term, it's going to be at a point where it's just the dollar is not, and there's nothing backing it, and that's very close to where we're being at. Now this is the Guardian. The week of ice, the outrage in Minnesota, the turmoil of days leading up to Alex Peretti's death. In many ways, Alex Peretti and Renee Good could have been any of the dozen Minneapolis residents I met last week. Among them were teachers, store clerks, Uber drivers, charity workers, and clergymen, a patchwork of humanity withstanding what many have called the Trump administration's siege on their city, which began in December last year, has led up to 3,000 arrests, 2 fatal shootings, a routine rights violations, and operations defined by the government brutality. What administration has attempted to laud as the largest immigration operation in U.S. history has instead become fully fledged crisis and the sharpest test of American democracy under Trump's second term. So this, you see all this stuff, you can go down, go into. Also, I get a lot of my news on TikTok. They have the videos of people on the streets, and it's getting crazy. It is getting crazy. The country is divided within itself. The dollar is crashing, plus much, much more. The book of Mark, chapter 3, verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. If a house be divided against itself, the house cannot stand. And if Shaitan rise up and against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. So what is this common trend here? Once it's divided by itself, divided within itself, it can't stand. This country is very divided right now. And I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. That with also numerous other things that's taking action right now, which again is all prophecy. I don't see it getting any better soon for them. Now for us, it's getting better because the people that believe, that just means that we're that much closer to getting home. So and it's getting better for us. For them, it's not. And Adoratazah, it hastens. The book Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 5. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another, and every one by his neighbor. And children shall behave himself against the ancient, and base against the honorable. The people are oppressed. This evil dude has even oppressed his own people, right? These people are now these people, after being oppressed, like the precept says, oppression makes a wise man mad. These people are starting to fight back. Now, also, this is It's all prophecy, but it's all adding up to that big point. And this all has to happen. This all has to happen. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 29. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of Adonai Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make that land of Babylon a desolate and without inhabitation. The Lord is pulling all his cards right now. He doing it all to make Babylon a desolation without inhabitation, and it's much more that happened. What I think is 300. Are you not entertained? There's a lot more that has to happen, and it's only going to get worse. There's about to be a lot of perdition, a lot of sedition, a lot of crazy stuff going on. But if you have this wisdom, you're going to be cool. Like the precept says, the wisdom is the stability of our times. You have this faith, this wisdom, you're going to be all right. But this is coming. It's all leading up to the big boom. The Lord is really a pit master, man. He prepping everything he prepping his brisket right now until to be ready for that great barbecue, for real. This is right around the corner. It's the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 31. We're going to be right here in the King James Version. So likewise ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the power is nigh at hand. We are very close. We are very, very, very close to getting out of here, man. Very close to getting out of here. Close. Very close, man. I feel like it's only a couple more major prophecies that have to happen. We are very close. Now, obviously, not on my time. It's not on my watch. We all know the Yahweh's watch. Yahweh doesn't even know when he's coming back. But through prophecy and then looking on what's going on in the world, we're pretty close. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. Let's just start at 17. Matter of fact, let's start at 16. Slakia. Matter of fact, 14. Slakia. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which has been shot of a mighty archer. This is going to the ICBM missiles. The missiles that's going to hit Babylon the Great. You know what I'm talking about? The Lord Yahweh is a pit master, and he getting his brisket, his oxtails ready to smoke, ready to set that fire. This is what he's talking about with the missiles. Return not backwards. So that means they're not going to return. They're going to hit what they're supposed to hit. Even so, the plagues that sit upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine, great death, the beginning of wars, the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are set as scourge for the amendment. Man, we got, the farming stuff happening only more and more is going to become more and more evident that we're going to have a famine soon. They be doing little things now here and there on YouTube. The famine of word is upon us. We got war going on right now. You hear all the talks of war. You got civil unrest. You see all this going on right now. Amen. They say amen, say man. A lot going on. The Lord is having these prophecies fly by. Which again, you gotta say Thawada Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Thawada. The book of Matthew, chapter 24. And we're gonna start at, let's just go down to the point. We're gonna go to 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Ye see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not here. Is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in different places. All these are the beginning of the sorrows. We're in the beginning of the sorrows. Now, granted, we are close. We are not. But all these things have to come to pass to get back home, and that's what this says right here. But we are close. It's the beginning of the sorrows, but we are close, and all these things must come to pass. So don't fret. Keep the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai as the apple in your eye, the wisdom of the apple in your eye, and you'll be all right. This is the book of Romans. I love this precept. I feel like it's always a good precept to end off with. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And knowing that the time is now, it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. I always think that's a great precept to end off. Understand what's going on and see the current world affairs and everything, understand this is a perfect time to come out of sleep and follow the Lord. Don't tarry, because the Lord's not going to tarry to come back, and the Lord's come back in the thief of the night. So if you're not ready now, you're just gonna get caught off guard, and that's not the way you want to be. Unless you want to go to that barbecue. Me personally, I ain't trying to go to that barbecue. I'm good. I don't rock the Zah. I don't have to be there. I don't rock the Zah. I am part of the elect. I don't rock the Zah. But do that work. I don't rock the Zah. You don't. You're not. You're not part of that barbecue. I don't rock the Zah. You are a part of the elect, right? But you have a fighter chance being in this word and having this truth and having understanding. So I don't rock the Zah. This lesson was edifying, able to give you some peace. You gotta give all praise and honors my power Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah, Bashim Rakakadash, Shalom, to the Akim Agwaf and the Bayan that tuned into this video. That's peace to the brothers, sisters, and children that tuned into this video. Shalom.